Today we'll be talking about CSS Media Queries. If you ever worked with responsive design and had to change your web app styles across multiple devices, you know what I'm talking about. But you can also use them to improve the web accessibility of your pages. Did you know that? There's a documentation for CSS Media Queries on MDN website. It explains more about the usage, code snippets, and have some examples as well. Feel free to check it out if you want to know more about it. And now that we are more familiar with the media queries, let's see how that works in a real world. We can open our terminal, create a folder called CSS Media Queries, and open the folder with VS Code. Now we can create the files for projects. Let's first create our HTML and link our style sheet file for our code sample. The first media query is called Reduce Motion. In this example, we will create a skeleton logo, a piece of HTML that's used to show the users that something is loading and the space that will be filled by it. First, let's create a box sizing with border box, and a position will be relative. Now we have the background, that will be a color and RGB, white color, and we should repeat this background. Also, we need to add the border radius, which will be 50%. That means it will be around the object. Also, let's add some width and height. Both will be 200 pixels. So in that case, we have our skeleton as an avatar skeleton, just a ball, a circle in our page. Okay, so now let's animate our skeleton. We can use the add keyframes to create a new animation called pulse. The first one will be at 0%. It should have the opacity as 1. And after that, in 50%, we can change the opacity to 0.4. And last but not least, 100%, and change the opacity again back to 1. That means that when we go to the page and we reload the page, we can see that pulsing. Now we can add animation, and we can pass pulse as the animation that we choose. We can set 2 seconds as the time that needs to be running, and you can say that we're using the easy in-out effect and should be running for infinity. Also, let's set animation delay for 0.5 seconds. So that means that the delay, we have a small delay for the animation when it starts running. Now, when we refresh the page, you can see the skeleton pulsing. Now we use Add Media to add the preference Reduced Motion Media Query for reduced motion. This makes your app respect the user choice for animation. So it disables, then in case it turns on. This is useful for some people with certain disabilities, having a key function for web accessibility. You now can see the changes by opening accessibility option in your device, going to display and clicking in reduce motion. When you click that, the animation will be removed because the media query will be applied. And when you unclick, the animation will come back. The second media query we'll be using today is the color schema. With that, you can check if the user has dark mode active in their device or not. If yes, you can apply some changes in your style sheet and change it to dark or light the way that you prefer. In this step, what we'll do is first add a style for the background, so all background for the HTML element will be white. And after that, we'll be using the media query for color scheme set for dark. So When it's dark, we will use a filter as example to invert all the colors for 100%. So when we refresh the page and reopen the general settings to change between light and dark themes, we can see that the page will be changed the colors from white to black. Also, feel free to check the browser support in Can I Use website, or check all the content available in web.dev website. And feel free to access this templates link for the demo on the description if you want to check the live example and change to see what happens.